This is called a stocking. A stocking is an article of clothing, a kind of long sock used to enclose human feet, keeping them warm and dry. And yet, at a particular time of year, if one were to discover a human foot in their stocking, they would call the police. This is a real object that exists in this universe. But I'd like to change gears here for a moment and talk about something called Santa Claus, because this is not a real object, and it does not exist in this universe. And yet, many humans behave as if it does. Allow me to explain. Santa Claus is also known as, and also not known as, Father Christmas, Saint Nicholas, Kris Kringle, Sinterklaas, Père Noël, or Dunce Lauren, which roughly translates to Christmas Old Man, which is appropriate because that's exactly what he is. Or maybe not. Some sources describe Santa as an elf, but I don't know. I don't get elf vibes from him. Maybe a large dwarf? In any case, he typically wears a coat of red and white. This may or may not be the influence of a popular cola company's advertisements. Please don't ask me what cola is. He is married to a Mrs. Claus, although it's hard to say exactly how much sex the two engage in, nor what sorts of positions or accessories are employed, though I invite you to speculate. He is so frequently described as jolly that he may as well own the adjective, and instead of laughing ha 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 like a normal person, he says ho ho ho, which is clearly a symptom of either obesity or mental illness. He has a white beard and pink cheeks, and I couldn't tell you if he's circumcised or not. None of the songs seem to mention it. None of this is true, by the way. Santa is fake, existing somewhere on a spectrum between mythological figure and marketing mascot. What is true is his association with an event called Christmas. Now, I've already briefly discussed Christmas on this channel, but to recap, it is a traditional/cultural/religious/secular/consumerist/feel-good time that recurs once each orbit of the Earth around its star. Like, if you go to a mall and for some reason it's actually kind of crowded, well, it's probably Christmas. The primary impetus for Christmas has evolved over time, from a celebration of the winter solstice to the worship of the character Saturn or Odin or Mithra, to the birth of some dude, to its final form, a capitalistic whirlwind of food and entertainment, culminating in an exchange of concealed products placed under a deceased tree. Older humans often look forward more to the food and socially acceptable inebriation more than the gift exchange, as adults generally know what they want and have the authority to purchase it any time of year. But the younger humans have significantly less agency in this respect. And so it is the adults that obtain gifts for the children, but this is not what the children are told. Instead, they are fed a seditious lie that it's Santa who gives them these presents. They are told that Santa lives at the North Pole and has a large toy workshop there. Of course, the North Pole is not a landmass and is just ice sheets floating on the Arctic Ocean, and therefore not a great location for any type of industry, but the kids don't put that together. This supposed workshop is run and maintained by hundreds, if not thousands, of elves. It is not clear what the arrangement is between Santa and the elves, nor what sort of compensation they receive, if any. Also, they're short and like to build things and tinker with machinery. These are very clearly gnomes, not elves. And apparently this workshop can make everything from a wooden block set to a PlayStation 5. The productivity of this place is frankly insane, and there's no natural resources at the North Pole, so I don't know where they're getting all these rare earth metals. And then, after all the billions of gifts have been assembled and packaged, they are placed into what must be a non-Euclidean sack of infinite space, loaded onto a large sled, which is then carried through the atmosphere by a team of reindeer. Now, reindeer are categorically non-flying animals. This is what drives me nuts, because we could tell kids that Santa gets around in an airplane, or that his sled is pulled by geese or something, but no, we say reindeer. And so, on Christmas Eve, he travels on this magic sled to each and every Christmas-celebrating house, of which there are millions, if not billions, and commits a sort of reverse burglary, whereby he delivers a quantity and quality of presents matching the child's socioeconomic background. How does he break into these homes, you might ask? Via a chimney, which is a narrow exhaust vent for combusted tree particles. What about the homes that don't have chimneys? Don't worry about it. And the issue of how Santa can complete this monumental task in a mere 24 hours remains a source of much debate. I like to think time runs differently for Santa, and Christmas Eve lasts thousands of years for him. That he is a prisoner of Christmas, forced to guzzle down sour milk and dry cookies and clamber down soot-smeared chutes for all eternity. Poor guy. At least he gets to sneak in a few mommy smooches. But perhaps most terrifying of all, the children are told by their trusted guardians and loved ones that Santa can see everything they do and is constantly judging them, even when they're sleeping, and that if they misbehave in unspecified ways, their names will be added to the infamous naughty list, and they will receive no presents. And you might be thinking, that sounds horrible. Sounds like borderline child abuse. I think this whole ordeal illustrates two things very clearly. The first is that children are so stupid for believing all this stuff. I remember when I was finally told that Santa was a lie by my born-again Karen neighbor. I wasn't disappointed that the Christmas magic wasn't real. I was disappointed that I never put two and two together myself. Like, come on, if Santa can see everything, then tell us who the Zodiac Killer is. And then the second thing this illustrates is the lengths parents will go to get their kids to just pick up their goddamn toys. Please, please. The elf on the shelf is watching. Hello everybody, Dylan here. As we close out 2024, I just want to say thanks for watching my videos. These are a lot of fun to make, and it's nice to see them resonate with people. If you're not subscribed and you're still here, well, might as well go ahead and hit that button, right? It gives me that precious dopamine. I've got a much larger, more ambitious video in the pipeline, so you can look forward to that in hopefully January. Anyway, Merry Christmas. Hope you have a decent 2025. And if you're from the future watching this, well, I hope everything worked out. Ugh, this is cringe.